Dear friends, today I'd like to talk about the Vedic gods, as in Rig Veda. We have so many gods in Hinduism, so many to be counted. And there used to be a set of gods, but now they are not there anymore. We are worshipping some other gods. What happened to them? We do not know. So I'd like to give an overview of the different gods and the way how the whole system has been written, as in the Hindu philosophy. This concept has been changed over the period of time, as you would see, but this should give a good idea about how to interpret different Puranas. The problem which we have currently is when we look at Puranas, we have a certain avatar, and then we see stories like Hanuman was born to Vayu, Bhima was born to Vayu, Kunti prayed to Vayu, and what does that mean? Is that a myth? So in this video, all I'm trying to do was to give an overview of the different construction, how it is organized, so that next time when you read a Purana or an epic, Ramayana or Mahabharata, you can easily correlate things associated with certain deities or gods. So, a basic overview of the Hindu philosophy. God created things and he got into them. That's it. God created things and he got into them. So, who is God and so on? It's a big philosophical question. But the fundamental Hindu philosophy is God created things and he got into them. That's why Hindus worship everything. Because everything which you see in this world is a manifestation of God. So, when we start looking at Rig Veda, maybe one of the earliest known books in the whole world, we have many different gods. And in this video, let's go through them very briefly, the different gods as we know, and also to interpret what that means. Yeah, we will do that today. So, the word Panchabhutas is of utmost importance in this context. The 5 basic elements, they are mentioned in many cultures, Greek, Chinese, in many different cultures, and Hindu philosophy has its own. And this is the essence of Rig Veda. So, let's start. First is ether or Akash. As I said earlier, God created things. So, in this context of Rig Veda, or in this context of this video, Prajapati, who is the Lord of creation, he created the different elements. The first element to be created was ether. Ether or Akash. Akash is space, but that does not mean that the space is empty. Space acts as a medium so that sound can pass. So in vacuum, nothing can pass. You cannot hear the sound. But in space, sound passes through. And this ether is pictured as Diyas Pitr. This is the first god. The first element we created is Akash. If you also compare this to the birth of a human being, you can correlate that. I do not know if it is true, but one can confirm or one can check if it is true. The first sense to be developed in a child, even if it is within the mother's womb, is hearing. Now, let's go on. From this, at that time, ether was the only thing available, just space. So, ether or Dyaspitr is the primary god at that time. From ether, what came out? Ether, as I said, has got only one principle, which is hearing. Yeah? Sound passes through, so hearing is associated with ether. From ether, air came out. Air is represented as Lord Vayu. So in the Rig Veda, you will see many praise to Lord Vayu or air. Also, as I said earlier, Hanuman was born to Vayu. Bhima was born to Vayu. So what are the properties of Vayu? Vayu has got strength. If it blows, when the wind blows heavily, it can destruct things. Yeah? So these qualities of wind or air has been characterized as different siblings, like brothers, or as sons of Vayu. Yeah? So in this case, Hanuman is a son of Vayu. So that means Vayu, the air principle, gave birth to Hanuman. And Hanuman has got great strength. Strength, speed can also be associated with Vayu. Now, there are many fights associated with this old Vedic gods. As you can see, you might find out that Indra succeeded Varuna, Varuna succeeded Agni, Agni succeeded Vayu. There's a constant fight. So to understand that, I need to explain a basic element here. So let's assume that there is a country. That country is ruled by a king. Yeah? Today, one king will rule this country, say X. Tomorrow, another king will rule that country, say Y. Day after tomorrow, the third king will rule, Z. So, when these kings are ruling, they are always called as kings. Their name might be different, X or Y or Z, but they are called as kings. Yeah, they have the same power or even more power as the previous ones. Like that, ether, which was represented as Dyaspitr, was succeeded by Vayu. So now, Vayu is the new king. He had more powers than Dyaspitr, including the whole powers of Dyaspitr himself. This is important. Yeah? So, Vayu had control of Dyaspitr also. So, when I say Vayu, you can also think about the elements of the physical body. the air, the prana. Yeah, prana, there are many divisions of prana. Primarily inhaling, exhaling. Yeah, there are many. Prana, Pana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. There are many. Dhananjaya. These different pranas, movement of air in the human body, and also the movement of air outside our human body, they are all clubbed together, and then they are represented as different sons of Vayu. Yeah, so sons, or in this particular Rig Veda, it is said that Vayu moves in chariots. It could be 2 or 49 or 100. So it's all talking about the way in which the air would move within the human body, the numbers. Yeah? So this is about Vayu. So later on, when we come to Indra, we will find out more about Indra, but Vayu is closely associated with Indra. Yeah? Controlling the breath. Control of the breath is done by Indra. So this is all about Vayu. Vayu has got two properties. One is hearing. You can hear the sound of the wind, plus you can feel. So earlier, Diyas Pitar, which is Akash, had the property of hearing. Now that is included within Lord Vayu. So Vayu now has got one additional property, which is feeling. So this is the second sense, you can say, which will be developed in a child even when it is within the mother's belly. Now, from Vayu, who came out? Lord Agni. What is Agni? Agni is just the fire. The fire can be said in many different ways. Within the human body, it is the digestive fire. Within the normal day-to-day life, we use fire for cooking. And fire, you can also have it in the forest as wildfire. Fire is also present in the sun. So everything, the heat principle, everything with regard to heat is represented, not only heat but also fire is represented within the god Agni. So in the Rig Veda, if you find out, you will find that Agni was always hiding from others, and the other gods go and try to get him back, and then again it disappears. But when it has to come, you have to pray, and then it demands a lot of things, and you have to fulfill Agni's promise. It's all about the way how we, mankind, got fire controlled by us. Earlier, the fire was within the wood and so on, but later on, uncontrolled. But later on, when man knew how to handle fire, Agni was subdued. And in one of the last verses of Rig Veda, you will find out that Agni said, "Okay, I will do as you like. Tell me what I have to do." So this is all about Agni. Agni has one additional property compared to Vayu. You can see. Air, you cannot see. Space, no, it's not visible. But Agni, you can see. So now, Lord Agni has got prominence, which has got three qualities, which is hearing, feeling, and seeing. This is equated to a man's body. So, Agni is the son of Vayu, because Agni was born from Vayu. Why do they say that? Vayu was there, and then from Vayu Agni came out, or Agni was developed. That's why it is called the son of Vayu. So we have covered three. Now the fourth one is water. Water is Lord Varuna. Water, which is found in our tap, lake, pond, stream, rivers, ocean, everything, any form of water is considered as a part of Varuna. Any part of water. So Lord Varuna resembles the water. So here you will, and in this point Varuna took over from Agni and Vayu and Dyaspiter. So now this has got the prominent role, and this is the Lord now. Yeah? And if you look at how the water, Varuna, was formed, it is formed from, if you read the scriptures, you will find out it was formed from Aditi. Aditi is sun. It is a sun. Sun belongs to the fire concept. So when I say fire, it is not only the fire which we use for cooking. It encompasses all the fire principles in this whole world. So now we have covered Varuna. What comes next is Prithvi. Prithvi is earth. We did not touch the sense aspect for Varuna. So already we had hearing, feeling, seeing. With water you can taste it. So taste is the next sense organ to be developed in a child. So going on, we have Prithvi. Prithvi is Mother Earth. Is Earth. So according to the logic, Prithvi should be the next king. But in Rig Veda, it does not say so. It says Prithvi was a consort of Dyaspiter, which is space. So that means space and earth, land, exist always together. So Prithvi and Dyaspiter always together. So earth, Prithvi, does not inherit the lordship or the kingship from Varuna. So who takes over from Varuna? If you look at the Rig Veda and various scriptures, Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, if you look, the sum of everything, if you look at that, Varuna was defeated by Indra. So if you go along the path of evolution, what happens next is the 5 principles were created. From the 5 principles, the mind was created. Yeah, from the 5 major principles, the mind was created. If you look very carefully, from earth, which is Prithvi, herbs were born. from herbs, food was born, from food, seed was born, from seed, man was born. It goes in this order. So man has got a mind. Yeah? The mind can exist outside the man also. So this mind is called Indra. So Indra has now become the king of all the five elements. Yeah? So which also refers to the five senses. So Prithvi, the last one, had also the property of smelling. So all the five senses have been covered within the five elements, basic elements. So now, since the mind or Indra again refers to the controller of senses. Indran. Indriyam means sense. Indran refers to the controller of senses. Yeah? So in Ramayana, even Rama is called as Raghavendra. Raghavendra means controller from the clan of Raghu. Yeah? So the Indra is a powerful name. So in this context, Indra is now the king. And Indra has control of all the other elements, which also refers to all the five other senses within the human body. So when you see in the scriptures, Indra is a friend of Vayu. You will find that. That means with the mind, you can control your breath. So you will have to read through the different scriptures. When you read, this video is, I'm, let's say, publishing it just to make sure that you get a bit of hint so that you can interpret it directly. Yeah, next time when you see a scriptures and see a story or a Purana saying that X was born of Agni, so then that would mean it is one of the properties of Agni. It should be one of the properties of Agni. It should be very hot. Agni can, when you lit it, what comes at the top is smoke. Smoke can come out. Agni can be burned. I mean, fire can be burnt for two things. One is for good things in a sacrifice or yajna. In Vedic rituals, you use fire to burn things, and also you use fire to burn the dead bodies. Yeah? So there are two variations. So the characteristics of these five elements have been converted to gods. Yeah? So now Indra is the head of everything. Now what happens? This happened long time back, and the number of gods increased heavily. So there were many classifications which were attempted. Can we shorten this number of groups and so on and so on? You will find that in many different, throughout the history, you will find there was an attempt to classify these different gods.